Greetings and welcome to Small Business Power. We're the show that is all about helping you to understand the different ways that small businesses can make a difference in our world. I am Cheyenne Kramer. This is my better half.
Don Kramer. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great day like we are.
Absolutely. And whew, it's a little warm today here in Florida. I'm glad we're heading north soon. You like this weather, though. I know.
It's great weather. Don't listen to her.
Yeah. He likes hot and humid. That's not my deal whatsoever. But anyway, so today, it's been a while since we have had a guest on a show with us. And today we are just so honored to have a special guest with us today. You want to tell everybody who that is?
Oh, man, it'd be my pleasure. I'd love to introduce Tanya Millar, outstanding person with a lot of knowledge, and she's going to pass some of that knowledge on to us today.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we love to do is we love to have people tell a little bit about their backstory because everybody's got a story. And oh my goodness, when it comes to small business owners, there's lots of interesting stories. So welcome,
True.
Tanya. We're so happy to have you with us today.
Thank you so much, you guys. This is such a privilege to be able to do this with you guys. It's not something I do very often, so I'm going to really enjoy this. As far as my background, it's a little bit complicated and a little bit inspirational as well. So basically what ended up happening is I'm Tanya Millar in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So a little bit further away from you guys. And it is a lot cooler here, I can guarantee you that. But basically what ended up happening is I was an advanced care paramedic up here in Alberta for over a decade. So I met my husband along the way, which was pretty great. Thank God he's patient. But I loved what I did. The medicine and, sometimes when you would help somebody, whether that be holding their hand, whether that be giving them a medication, whatever it might be, saving their life, they would look at you and you could see their shoulders like go from this to, oh, and sometimes they'd even say, thank you so much. And to be honest, that's what I do. I need to be able to help people in a significant way overall, to get myself out of bed in the morning, if you know what I mean. It just fires me up. It excites me to be able to help people. And that's why I got in that industry. The unfortunate side of this is I ended up wanting to have a family, which was great. I have two young boys. They're 7 and 9, and they're fabulous. But at the time had just been born. I was, just had the babies and went back to work. And in order to do the job that I loved, I had to put my family second. And I know many of you out there probably feel the same way. And I know a lot of people are able to actually be paramedics and have families, and it's great, but I wasn't able to. I ended up being diagnosed, and I say unfortunately, but fortunately, because I didn't realize that it was going to move me in the direction, put me on your stage today. Let's put it that way. So again, unfortunately, but fortunately, I was diagnosed with PTSD. And I started having a lot of the symptoms. And for those of you out there that are thinking, maybe they're in the medical industry, maybe they're in something else, maybe they're a small business owner and they're working too hard, you won't necessarily know that you're sick, because I didn't know. I had no idea at all. It took a couple of my friends and my husband to bring it to my attention. And then I had to realize that I was actually sick. Other than that, I just thought I was working the daily grind, and this is what I had to do to support my family. After that diagnosis, I won't lie, that was the hardest thing that I had ever done up until that point. And it brought me into the financial field, which was pretty exciting. It was about 4 years ago. And you're probably thinking, paramedic, financial industry, how does that happen? Basically, what happens is I phoned a friend and said, hey, we need help with budgeting. We really need help with budgeting. We had 2 financial advisors already in the traditional industry. We thought we were taken care of. So for many of you out there that you think you're taken care of, just get a second opinion, please, because we would have never, but we did. And I'm grateful every single day that we did. I was shown the opportunity at that time because the company was doing an expansion campaign. And I told the lady that sat down with us, I'm like, there's no way I'll ever be in the financial industry, ever. That sounds extremely boring, extremely boring. But guess what, guys? 3-4 months later, I looked at getting into the industry and I thought, man, what she's been able to do for our family, if I could do that for other people and get that thank you and help them in a significant way, then I'm going to do that. So I've now been in the financial industry for 4 years, just a little bit over that. I love what I do every single day, and I love the impact, that positive impact I'm able to have in people's lives.
Mm, that's amazing. That's amazing. And so tell us a little bit. I mean, this whole idea of going from a traditional employee into doing something on your own. How did you get over and around and through that thought?
Great question. I know many are like, oh, what is the answer to this one? It was a struggle at the beginning because, again, I loved what I did. If I didn't love what I did, I had a very hard time walking away from what I did.
Mhm.
Again, for that helping in a significant way. But the mindset has to change between entrepreneur and employee. And I'm still working. I'm a work in progress. Everybody is. But I can honestly tell you, you got to really look at what you're doing. You've got to look at why you're doing it, and you got to look at how you're doing it. So I work for me now, and I love that. Whereas before, I made someone else money, and I
Mhm.
worked really hard to make other people money. I know everybody has, right? But now, if I take the day off, I know that I'm going to be the one that, the profit's lower or that person doesn't get the help that day. It's going to affect someone else's life. So I have to be very careful and cautious on, self-care, of course, comes number one. But
Mhm.
also at the same time, I don't want to leave those people hanging. So I need to be able to look after myself as well.
Absolutely. Now, I know that you've also told us a little bit about your house is pretty full on a daily basis, isn't it? You're still kind of doing this balancing thing between family and work, and tell us a bit about that.
Yeah. So up here in Edmonton, we've made the choice that with COVID, we've kept our kids home for the last 2 years. So both our sons are at home currently, online learning. I am up in my office and they are downstairs. So I have one in the kitchen who's on the computer, online learning. He's 9. The other one is sitting next to my husband, who's also working from home right now. And they're both on computers sitting next to each other in the living room as well. So we've had our house packed full of fun for the last 2 years. We can't wait till they go back to school just for them too. But yeah, it's definitely a juggling thing. But the best part is I get to jump down on my lunch break and I can make lunch or I can have lunch with them. We can
Mm.
have a recess together as well. We can go out in the backyard, jump on the trampoline and stuff when the snow's gone. But those are the things that I know you guys are laughing because you're out there in somewhere hot, but those are the things that I get to do that I never would have been able to do.
That's amazing. That's
I
amazing.
understand.
And I can
So,
honestly tell you the other part is that my we've had some tragedy in our family in the last couple of years as well. And by being a business owner, I have that flexibility to be there for my mom through the last 2 years, which as an employee, there's no way I would have gotten time off to be there for my mom.
Mhm.
yes, yes. And that is a beautiful thing. Even though I know you're a hardworking lady, I know that, you're able to put a little more focus on your family when it is needed, and that's such a beautiful thing for sure. So tell us how in your mind is tell us a little bit about what you are doing now. You said financial advisor, but how does that relate to where you've been? I mean, tell us the connections that you've been able to make between how you used to be a paramedic and now you're possibly saving people in a different way.
Yeah, so she's digging for my mission. Thank you so much for that. So, what my mission is, and it's a big one, just so you guys know, there's no small goal ever, but there are baby steps every single day. My big mission is being a paramedic for so many years. There's all kinds of types of stresses that put somebody in an ambulance. And let's face it, any stress that you have, it doesn't matter where it comes from, it can cause physical symptoms, which can put you in the back of the ambulance someday, or even in your own car with a medical emergency headed to the hospital. So I've had this analogy, if you will, that I'm going to save everybody because I saved myself. And the big thing is when I was chatting with some of my patients, I know there's many levels of stress, but one particular one that kept coming up is finances. So if I can help somebody educate them so they can actually read their statement and know what they're doing, know if their money's working as hard as it can be, know if their family's actually protected with um, enough. Like a lot of people aren't even protected enough. So if something does happen, they're still not in a good position. So my analogy is, if I can teach you some financial education, so you know what's going on in your life, you can pick up the phone and be like, hey, Tanya, I don't understand the statement, and I can explain it. Then maybe one day you don't have that stress. I can alleviate some of that stress, and maybe you don't end up in the ambulance one day. And some of my paramedic friends can actually get the help they need, or they can just get, a rest and put their feet up for 10 minutes.
I
know.
love it. She's into PTSD prevention.
Hey, if we can help anybody, it doesn't matter how you go about it. I want to be able to help my paramedic friends as well, because there's a lot of them that need it and they just don't know it.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah, absolutely. And the more proactive that people like you can be in helping to prevent these total meltdowns that so many people are having right now, yeah, that absolutely can help some of your friends who are still in the industry. So
Yep.
I love it. I love it. So tell us a little bit more about, because you recently decided that it made sense for you to be involved in working with us a little bit. We Hear Partnerships has a pretty big vision too. So, I mean, would you be so kind as to just share so that we understand better, what drew you into taking your mission and making it part of a bigger mission?
Yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned, the mission is big. Your guys' mission is huge too. And again, it's all about having a positive impact in people's lives. So it doesn't matter where you're at in life, you still need financial education right now. You guys bring people together to collaborate, to change the direction of people's lives in a massive way. And as soon as I heard about that, I was like, you know what, I've got to be involved with them. We've got to figure out how we can change the direction. I know one of your slogans is, if you can be the change, right? If you're looking for a change, you can be the change. And I want to be part of that change. And I know that, with our relationship, all the three of us, I will be able to fulfill my cause, my mission.
Awesome. Well, and we are so honored to have you with us and to be part of our prosperity team, because that's the thing. And especially right now when we look around and, oh my goodness, do we know what the rate of inflation is now? It's going crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, more and more people are just becoming more and more concerned about their finances, about the state of the economy, where we're going in the world. And so, yeah, we know that the best thing we can do for ourselves is to really get more proactive in figuring out how to take more control, how to have more financial empowerment, prosperity empowerment. And I do believe also, I mean, part of your mission also is to help other people start their own business, is it not?
Yeah, absolutely. So I know that there's a lot of people out there that have been laid off, and maybe they're struggling, or maybe they're like me and they were burnt out and they were looking for something else, but they didn't know that they were looking for something else. They didn't know where to go. And yeah, absolutely. My firm is actually looking for some people right now as well. And I would love for anybody that's looking for something different just to know that, just check things out. There's all kinds of opportunities out there, and it's terrifying. I won't lie. It is terrifying to make that jump from something that's comfortable to something that's really uncomfortable and brand new, but it is so exciting. And I can also tell you that the another reason why I'm in this, and I forgot to mention this, and I think it's absolutely important, is I had two traditional financial industry people. I had an advisor, my husband had an advisor, and then we had an advisor together. So we had two in total. Get a second opinion if you can, you guys. Okay. You can sit down with a financial advisor and it's a free consultation. You don't have to do anything. And they can tell you if your money's working as hard as it can be, or if your family's properly protected. I thought I was good. I thought I was good in the mental capacity working in EMS. I had it all handled. That we're good. In the financial side, I thought we were good. Have you ever heard that? No, we're good. Well, guess what? I got a second opinion. And I learned that I wasn't as good as I could be. I mean, I'm pretty great. No, I'm just kidding. But But the thing is when we sat down, what I figured out is I was 19 years old when my dad said, get an RSP. Up here in Canada, it's RSP. Down in the States, it's different. But it's at the end of the day, it's all the same stuff. I got that RSP. I put money in there. Why? Because I was going to be a good kid. You know, I didn't want anybody to pay for anything if I passed. Tried to get a will. All I had was a car. The guy told me, he's like, come back when you have something. Okay, that's the kind of person that I was and am. So I went to his guy. He said, go to my guy. He's looked after me and mom and several of my other family members forever. He's awesome. I said, okay, no problem, Dad. So I went there and I consistently put money into this RSP, growing for my future. I got that second opinion and I barely gave the lady that came and sat down, I would barely give her my statement. That's how much I trusted this guy. Okay. After I got into the industry, I decided to look at it. 21 years later, you guys, I was in a high interest account. So I was making 2%. And if that doesn't make sense to you, that's okay. But at that time, a low rate of return was 13%. So I got a little angry, and that is part of my mission as well, is I don't want that to happen to any of you. If if we can sit down and just get a second review, I don't care. You may not be as good as you think, or maybe you're better than you think. Who knows?
Who knows? And until you ask, you don't know for sure. Yeah. And you said something about I'm good. I just heard a bunch of stuff yesterday with people saying, I'm fine. And it's like when people say, I'm fine, how often are they really fine?
Yeah,
that's a good question.
I know I said it all the time. No, I'm okay. Okay and fine in the industry.
There you go. There you go. Well, so here's an important question, because obviously we're in the US, you're in Canada. Right now, I mean, in terms of working with people, tell people what you are and are not able to do between Canada and the US right now, and what you may be able to do in the future.
Yeah, great question. So I am actually licensed in Alberta, Canada, and BC, Canada. But we have a team that's across the whole, all of Canada. So I can connect you with other members that have the same education and can provide that education for you. They're still on our direct team. So I know these people, I like them, I trust them. We're also starting to build into the States. As soon as I'm a marketing director, which should be happening here in the next couple months, I'm able to actually build in the States. And because I'm not licensed in the States, I can connect you with someone up in the States, and they can look after you as well. But you can still be connected to me, which is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that is amazing. So we will keep that in mind, that as you go forward, that you will be able to help other people in the States as well as in Canada who want to explore entrepreneurial opportunities.
Absolutely.
So that's important for everybody to know. Well, dear, do you have any final questions for Ms. Tanya?
Oh, yes, I do. Very important. How can people get in touch with you?
Oh, Dawn, you've got the hard one. Actually, you know what? I'll throw everything in the chat. I'll throw my phone number. I'm a pretty laid back person, so I think it's pretty important to be able to get a hold of me. A phone call never hurts. I'll throw my phone number in there as well, my email, and all of those fun things for you. But don't hesitate to text me and be like, hi, I saw you on the show. I've got some educational questions. Like, call me, text me, email me. I'll put my website in there as well.
Awesome. Awesome. So we're grateful to have you with us today, Tanya. We're grateful to have you as part of We Care. Because that's exactly what we're all about, is everybody keeps looking outside themselves to be able to create change. And we are full believers. What is it that we tell people?
Hey, you are the miracle.
Absolutely. And we are the change that we are all looking for. So thank you for being part of the change, for helping to do the change, for being that advocate to stand for healthcare workers and to reduce PTSD all around the world. And we thank you so much for being with us here today, Tanya.
Thank you so much for having me, you guys.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you all for listening in today, and thank you for hanging with Small Business Power. We will be back next week. And in the meantime, think about it. How can you be in business, and how can you be part of the change that the world is looking for today? Thank you, everybody.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.